Miss Otis regrets she's unable to lunch today. Madam, Miss Otis regrets she's unable.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Gret Menzies-Gonzalez. I'm Artistic Director of Virtual Arts. And on behalf of our team, I'd like to thank you for coming to this Juneteenth edition of I Love You 2021. We have an exciting lineup of artists participating this evening, and the conversation promises to be insightful and inspiring. A couple of orders of business before we get started. First, as attendees, your audio and video will remain off for the duration, but if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to pose to any of our guests, we'd love to hear from you. So just type them in the chat, which you can find at the bottom of your screen, and we will do our best to address them at some point during the show. And then secondly, after we close tonight, please visit our website, virtualartsproductions.org, to keep up with our upcoming projects. And we'd love it if you consider making a donation to help us continue to produce more shows like this one. So at the core, theater artists are storytellers. And because of that, we have a unique ability and therefore responsibility to ensure the stories we are telling are not only diverse, but are being told with authenticity, respect, and equity. All of tonight's guests are proactively doing just that, each in their own way. To guide us through this conversation tonight, I am proud to introduce our very special guest host, Lynnie Godfrey. Lynnie is a member of our board here at Virtual Arts, and she is often referred to as a hyphenated performer. She is an award-winning actor, singer, director, producer, and writer. Her career spans the theater, television, and cinema. We are so honored to have her here as our moderator for this evening's show. So without further ado, please welcome Lynnie Godfrey.
Well, hello, Gret, and thank you so very much for having me. Welcome, everyone. I am so pleased to be here in I Love You 2021. And from now until the hour is over, I think you'll have a lot of things to talk about when this is all over. But for right now, if you don't mind, I'd like to do a little something for you, and we'll talk about it in a moment. Supper time. Time to set the table, 'cause it's supper time. Somehow I ain't able, 'cause that man of mine ain't coming home no more. Supper time. Kids will soon be yelling, "Ma, Ma, it's supper time." What's the use in telling them that man of mine ain't coming home no more? How I keep explaining when they ask me where he's gone. How I keep from crying when I bring their supper on. How do I remind them to pray for their humble boy? And how can I be thankful when I tell them, thank the Lord, you thank the Lord. Supper time. Time to set the table, 'cause it's supper time. Somehow I ain't able, 'cause that man of mine ain't coming home no more. Thank you so much for allowing me to, sorry, share that moment. That song, Supper Time, was written by Irving Berlin in 1933 for the wonderful Ethel Waters. She performed it 8 times a week in the Broadway show As Thousands Cheer. It is about a woman who hears the knock at the door, and when she opens it, she finds that her husband has been lynched. With that said, we will move forward with all of the events of the day and really introduce you to what I think are two really wonderful entities. They're both at different parts of the country, one in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the other in Orlando, Florida. So first, let us take this one step at a time. First, we're going to go to Hearts Production, and the executive director is Donte Miller, who is a wonderful writer, and he wrote the book to this wonderful musical called The Rocking Chair. And along with him, his musicologist is Miss Tymara Walker. I won't say any more now. I want you to look at just a little bit of clip that we have of their work and how wonderful they've been working together. Thank you. And now we have Donte and Tymara.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, you two. How are you?
Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I have so many questions for you. All right. So let's just start by starting with you, Donte. All right. You have created this organization, Hearts Production, and your mission statement is to create a platform to enrich lives through the arts and improve the world through the medium of storytelling, as well as offer entertainment services and performing arts and based education. However, I also heard and read about this quote that I really love that you did: to create a safe haven for the broken people out there who still have a song in their heart, but no stage to sing it in. Ah, I'll say, so you want me to cry now, right?
Like,
you want me to cry right now, right?
On my quotes. I'm like, no. No.
Of course, it's so lovely. Thank you so much for coming. Tymara, I'm getting to you, Miss Musicologist, but just bear with me. I'm going to get on Donte for a minute. Now, Donte, you decided to create this company. Why?
If I have to be honest,
And
for
please do.
for a multitude of reasons. Honestly, you know, this company is so many reasons of why Hearts Productions exists, but it really got to a point where I was very content with being the artist. You know, I was content with being the one on the stage, doing the singing, doing the acting, doing the dancing. I loved it. It was not anything that I was just trying to, you know, judge by or breeze by, but it definitely got to a point where I felt like I was, you know, kind of even blocking myself. I start seeing that I love to do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and you know, my eyes and ears started to really peak and perk over stuff like that. And even in school, I always wanted to, you know, I was always writing. I took like 3 writing classes when I was a senior. I could have like dropped all my classes, but I was like, no, I want more writing classes. I took journalism, composition, I took creative writing. I just love writing. So I knew that had a lot to do with whatever it was I was going to do in my future. So a lot of that just kind of bled into. I was, you know, going to the auditions and getting the yeses, getting the nos, doing all of the stuff. But I just kind of started creating this beautiful relationship with the people here in Vegas, and wanted to, like I said, create that stage, because I saw that there was a lot of people who were getting the nos and not getting the opportunities to really show people what it is that they have. I learned just enough, and I always tell people I learned just enough and got into the rooms to meet the right people to do Hearts Productions pretty much.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's, you know, it's a love work.
like, yeah, it seems like that it all led you to Hearts Productions.
Correct.
Yes. So now tell me, how did you meet up with this diva here? All right, Miss Tymara Walker, I am sick of you and 2 little colored boys. I'm sick of both of you all with that. If I have to cry one more time when I hear it, it is so beautiful, and your rendition is so lovely. You're welcome. You know, now tell me how you met, and then I want to hear about 2 little colored girls. I mean, boys. See, now you got to do one with girls. Now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
You know, so I want to know how that came. But first, tell me how you and Tymara became a team, because you are that. You're a team. So tell me.
I was
no, not you,
Oh,
Tymara.
Oh, me. Okay.
Right.
Well, hi everybody. Well, this is originally how it happened. So I too own a production company. It's called Songbird Productions, and I'm not solely for children, but I'm geared towards them because I'm trying to develop the stars of the future generation.
Yes.
And, you know, I got a couple adults that sneak in there too. So at the time that I met Donte, I was musical director for a show. Was it Once on This Island? Yeah, that was the first one. I was musical director for a couple of shows for a company that I was previously dealing with, and Donte was in both of those shows. And it was funny because at that time, Donte was a kid. Like he was barely grown, had about 6-7 hairs on his chin. and you know, he was in this show, and there were so many people, but there was something especially special about Donte because, and I have to say this so that you really understand, the company that we were dealing with was not the best and did not treat its creators, its talent, the best. And Donte took a lot of slack. Like a lot of folks that I know would be in jail now for things that have been done to them back then. But Donte's answer was always, the bigger picture is the art. The bigger picture is me, the artist. The bigger picture is the show. And we met then, and then he comes to me probably, I would say maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years after the last show we did together, and had the audacity to say to me, so I wrote this show. And I wrote this whole show. It's called The Rocking Chair. And the only thing I'm missing is the music. Now I wrote the music, I wrote the words, but I don't know nothing about music. And I just sat and watched you do these 2 shows, and I want you to be the musical director for my show. This is the best part, because just like him, I've heard the yeses and I've heard the nos. And the best part is that he did not give me an opportunity to say no, because he said, I need you to do this music. Look, I'm broke. So what I'm gonna do is, while I'm broke, I just want you to think about my request. And then every time I get some money, I'm about to come and bother you. And he did. And he stayed consistent with that. And I literally have watched him grow up from this kid with 6, 7 chin hairs into this amazing director. And it just seems so meant to be, because when he comes to my house, we'll be right here at my piano. When he comes to my house, there is no, oh, how does this go? What are we going to? He sings the words to me. I sit at the piano for about 6, 7 minutes. And next thing you know, we've got a whole piece.
Magic.
How long ago did your first meeting happen? That's Once on this island, when you did Once on this Island, when was that?
Was that like 2014?
Yeah, I was about to say 13, 14, something like
13,
that.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
And how long now, Donte? Now you can talk. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Donte, when did you start writing The Rocking Chair?
I started writing it 12 years ago. I actually posted something on my social media not too long ago, and this is something that after I sat down, I realized too. After my brother, my eldest brother, passed away when he was younger, I wrote a song to the unwillingly knowing that it was going to be in the musical. I wrote a song titled "Before I Die." And I wrote it because a little tiny backstory to it is because my brother was bad. My brother was bad. And I was so afraid that he would, being a younger kid and going to church and having 3 grandmas alive at the time, and they all like, you do good or you go to hell. Yeah. I was sold that my brother was potentially going to go to hell. So I wrote the song kind of in prayer to God, asking him, before he gets to those gates, can you please just really, really assess his situation and understand him before you do make your decision. So, and it's because of that, I kind of had the to start writing this show in dedication to him, which leads me into Two Little Color Boys, because Two Little Color Boys, once upon a time, was one little color boy. But another very special gentleman in my life had passed away by the name of Chris not too long ago. So I rewrote the song to make it fit Two Little Color Boys, in homage to Chris and Craig. Tymara has done a ridiculous thing. I want you guys all to know. It is one thing to have all of this music rattling around in your head for 12 years, but for this woman to just take it, everyone has opened up my mind. It was like, oh, closed it right back up and was like, this is too much. And Tymara was just like, oh yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna, we're gonna sit this down. And I was like, finally,
you have to. But not tomorrow. Your orchestration of Dawson's "Soon I Will Be Done." William Dawson's brilliant. People you don't know him, he did Ezekiel Saw the Wheel. Right. Anyone who's done any concert, college concert, has done all the Negro spirituals. Yes, and Ezekiel Saw the Wheel. We all stood up there and listened to the Rolling Carters of the world. Tell me how you came up with that particular kind of arrangement that you did, because it is different. It's far more legato, and you've made it far more staccato. So tell me, how did that come to mind?
So my background, a lot of people don't know this because I've been in Las Vegas for 10 years, but I'm from the Midwest. I was born in Boston and raised in Ohio. My father was a legit genius. That's why he didn't have no common sense. That's why I don't have any, because he went to Harvard. He graduated from Andover Newton, and my father, my uncle, and my mother are all very prolific musicians. And my uncle has a choir, it's called the Clarence Smith Community Chorus in Toledo. And he used to do all of those songs, Ezekiel, he used to do Soon Will Be Done. And so Donte mentioned that he wanted something in this space for the show. I'm a pastor's daughter. That's another reason why I've been so bad up until like last year.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I've been in church all my life. And my daddy didn't play no games. Like it was just me and my sister. And when we came here, he was like, so our family is musicians. Get with it. That's all it is. And I learned from a very early age that I loved arranging. I loved taking beautiful things and making them even more beautiful. And I love starting from nothing and just creating this amazing sound. And these young people, a little bit of older people, most of them had never heard of Soon It Will Be Done. You know,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I've been hearing that since I
All
was
my
4
life.
years old.
Yes,
All my life.
All my
So,
life.
you
Yes.
know, when I knew that it was going to be a part, it was like, so this is what my daddy was talking about, just putting my little tiny snap on it, because I wanted it to be presented in a way on stage that was powerful and made people who never heard it understand what it means.
And let me give you the kudos on the articulation that you insisted on. Don't think that that move that did not escape me, because I am a real big stickler when I direct about articulation.
Absolutely.
Especially in song. You know, we have T's and D's and people. And
we're going to use them.
Yes. Let's use them. All right.
You get on your head about them T's and them
Yes,
D's.
I know. Now look, you two, I'm loving this, but you know, I have to go to the next entity. I'm loving talking to you. I'm going to bring you back and we're going to talk a little bit more about Rocking Chair. And I want you to think about where you want it to go, where it is now, what the status of it is right now. And then we'll talk about a little bit about, you know, now that we've got this holiday, what we want to do as your generation, my generation, what we want to do to solidify ourselves in making all of this work better. How about that? Is that
Absolutely.
good?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to say goodbye to you for a little bit, and then I'm going to introduce Mandi Jo. All righty. I'll talk to you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen our first introduction and part of what we have to say to you. But now we have yet another part. And this young lady is in Orlando, Florida. She's absolutely wonderful. She's got everybody had brought children to our rehearsal. So she's a lovely little girl, Willow, that's there. But she is the executive director of an organization called Black Theater Girl Magic. And before I say anything else, I'm going to do like I did before. I am going to let you judge for yourself how beautiful her organization is, and she is herself. So there you go. Keeping out of mischief now. Really am in love and how I'm through.
Hi, I'm Mandi Jo.
I'm so happy to be here. I've been kind of missing mom and daddy. Sort of been a spin since Cincinnati. Morning flight, a major bore, but then they opened the cabin door and zoop to lore, here I am.
It only took a moment to realize that Walt Disney World has something for everybody, like music.
There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the heat of the rolling world can be turned away.
I got my degree in acting from the University of Central Florida, and I have been a professional actor, singer, playwright, and advocate for the past 15 years. I'm also a new mom. I have a 1-year-old daughter named Willow.
Hello, everyone. We are live here with my co-host, Willow Faith. My name is Mandi Jo. I am the executive director of Black Theater Girl Magic, and I am so excited for this talk today. It's been an enriching process to have this AMA series. We've talked with, stage managers, we've talked with playwrights, we've talked with directors, we've talked with, people from all across the theater profession, intimacy coordinators, and they were all Black women. And I think that, so many of us don't really see ourselves in theatrical work, not just on stage, but like across theatrical work, in the costuming and wardrobe, in production, in set design, in lighting design. We don't see ourselves enough. So, you know, having this AMA so that people can not just ask their questions, but just see Black women in all of their radiance doing this work and seeing for themselves that it is a job you can have. It is something that is achievable for you. BTGM has got a lot going on outside of these virtual events. We're planning our first in-person event, which will be a celebration of Juneteenth. And that will be held in historic Eatonville, America's first Black incorporated town. And so we've got that coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming up for BTGM. So, you know, y'all stick around. It's going to be an incredible time.
And that's me. Bye.
Keeping out of mischief now. Really am in love and have.
Well, now you see what I'm talking about. Very, very talented Mandi Jo John. And we're going to welcome her now into our wonderful space here so we can talk about Black Theater Girl Magic. Hello there. How are you?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. And welcome, welcome, welcome. So I am so impressed with the fact that you have decided to establish this organization. Tell me, how long has it been established?
I believe so. The first version of Black Theater Girl Magic actually was a Facebook group that I started in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just had this idea of, you know what, let me put my network together. Let me just create this space, invite all of my network of Black women in the performing arts and see how many women that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a 15-year career, with having worked with thousands of performers and had the opportunity to perform for millions of people, literally through the theme parks, millions of people,
Mm-hmm.
I can say that I had about 150 contacts, which
Mm-hmm.
is pretty good, but
That's pretty solid. Yes, yeah.
Considering, you know, it was like, that's not nearly enough.
Mhm.
We gotta share this with each other and expand this network. So, you know, we started in 2017 with 150-ish founding members, and now we are an organization that is over 2,000 members strong.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now I'm going to read as what I found to be a mission statement. I know you have a vision statement, but to create a racially just and more equitable entertainment industry for Black and brown women. How wonderful, being one of those women myself and having been in the business far longer than you have been alive. Okay. I realize that is a very important statement for us, because there are a lot of hurdles that we have to entertain. Now, you did work, we could see that you did work for Disney, and the evolution of that into your company. Tell me now, what do you want your company to accomplish? I see that you did the panel and you exposed them to all these different job descriptions that all women can do. And that's really a wonderful thing. What else is it that you want to do? And I want to talk about that letter to playbill.com. So, all right, there you go.
So, you know, Black Theater Girl Magic has a lot of goals. We actually, you know, have taken an approach the past year or two of, you know, putting our hands on anything that we feel furthers the work, that furthers the cause of creating a more racially just and equitable performing arts industry and performing arts. So, you know, at times that has been, we've produced virtual play series with theaters in partnership, and we have done diversity panels. We worked with partner organizations on assessments. One of our partners is the Joy Jackson Initiative, and we worked with them to help develop and peer review an assessment that theaters can take that measures their growth quotient, right? Like how safe is your space now for people of color, and how far do you have to go,
Is
and
that
what are
in
your
Florida?
metrics?
Is that Florida? or is
The
it-
Joy Jackson Initiative is actually based in Los Angeles, so it's
Okay.
a
Mhm.
West Coast organization.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And Black Theater Girl Magic, we we're based out of Central Florida because I have a home in Central Florida, but it's a
Mhm.
national organization. We even have members all over the world
Mhm, mhm.
performing on contracts. So
So wonderful.
international in some ways. But yeah, we're really just here to create opportunities for women of color to explore career in the floor, just their passion of the performing arts, because not everything has to be a career, right? But
Yes.
if you have joy in your heart to perform and to sing and to be in productions, then you should be able to pursue that regardless of whether you're considered professional or community theater. We're a space for all
You
Black and
welcome
brown
all.
women who love the arts.
Now
That's
I've
the
got a
space
couple
that
of
we are.
questions already that are in the chat. So let me just ask, how does one join this organization? That's what a couple of women are interested in. How does one
Yes.
join? Yes.
So right now we still have that original Facebook group, which is a safe space for Black and brown women. It is a closed group, but if you identify as a woman of color, you are on Facebook, please find us and join. That is a space specifically held for Black and brown women to network, to provide fellowship, to vent, to find resources and support. That is what our Facebook group is there for. We just became a certified nonprofit this year. And so we're working on building kind of our own website and database and creating a membership system.
Wonderful.
But that's kind of in the next phase of growth. So right now our hub is that Facebook group. So if you are native to Facebook and you identify as a
person of color, yes.
a woman of color, or a femme of color,
Yes, a femme
a
of color.
girl of
Mhm,
color,
mhm.
we are here for you, and we would love to have you be a part of our network and a part of our community. We also have an Instagram. There's no membership affiliated with the Instagram, but you can follow us on Instagram and our website. We provide a lot of resources. So if you don't identify as a Black or brown woman in the performing arts, but you want to support, there are many ways that you can follow, like, and support us on social media and through our website.
Wonderful. Now, another question is, have you had an opportunity to produce any of your plays? And if so, has that been difficult?
I have not produced any of my plays. So I have written several and submitted them for production in
Productions.
various places before I had my daughter. And then I ended up having a baby in early 2020, and then everything that happened with the pandemic. And I kind of put that down for a while, but recently I fired up my computer and I just started to write again. And that has provided me so much joy. And I think one of my own personal goals this year is to have some table reads of my work. And that's actually something that Black Theater Girl Magic is already doing with other playwrights. We provide lots of resources for Black women to see their work actualized. We've done workshops with Black women directors who are working in the field, and we brought them with a cohort of women who had never directed before and wanted to learn more about it. And we created space for them to direct professional actors, albeit via Zoom, but giving them, because you can't be a director until you've directed anything. and you
Well,
can't
it's-
direct
it's
anything
true,
until
it's
someone
true.
makes you a director.
Exactly.
So we
It's
said,
that
let's
cycle,
close
yes.
that loop and let's make some directors. Let's
Well, I
give you
want
some
you to
actors
send,
and
I want
let's,
I want you to send me a play or two, because I am artistic director of a group that's 15 to 20 people of color. And we do readings. And so I would love to read some of your plays. And then
oh,
we
that
can,
would be lovely.
yes, you see, now which one of your plays is one of your favorite plays? Come on, tell me now.
So I have a play that I don't know if it's a screenplay or if it's a play just yet. I'm still trying to figure out what the medium is for this,
Mhm.
but it's a play about a woman who comes into these supernatural powers in her 40s.
Oh,
And
okay.
she is a mom.
Mhm.
She has a life. And, you know, somebody once said to me, why are all the superheroes young teenage children? Why can't the chosen one for once be a woman in her 40s? Because I don't know about you, but those women get things done.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I was like, well, what if the chosen one was a woman in her 40s? What would that look like?
Mhm.
And it's more of it's an exploration of kind of that idea of the labor that we do as women of color, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
how much do we actually save the world, right?
And
so
save
there's
our lives every day. Yes.
exactly, and there's a
Every
touch
single
of
day.
so many strong, powerful women in the piece. You know, there's AOC in there for a while. You know, I drew some inspiration from Justice Sotomayor and you know, women who are
Mhm. Yes.
who have superpowers, in my
Yes,
opinion,
yes,
and
yes.
what they look like. And so that piece, not sure if it's yes, Stacey Abrams was in there.
Yes,
Exactly.
Stacey Abrams. Yes,
Val
yes,
Demings is
yes,
in there. She's a
yes,
local
yes.
Florida politician who I really respect and admire. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's just an idea of, you know, what if Black women were actually saving the world in the ways that we look at superheroes to do.
Yes, because we are saving the world. We do all the time,
Exactly.
you know. So now we need to get a little bit more credit for it, you know, and a little bit more help to do it quicker with superpowers. So that's wonderful. Where do you think? And then I'm going to bring the other group in because, of course, as usual, yes, we do elect presidents. Yes, we do.
Yes. That we
as,
do.
as usual, the hour can go. So I want to be able for the two of you to be in the same room, you two entities, because you're at different parts of the country, but you all can, I believe, service one another. And it's almost like a networking that's happening here now. But before I do that, tell me, you're just starting. I understand. My company is Essence of Acting is nonprofit and tax deductible. So we've gotten to that route, and I have a plan for it in 5 years. What is your plan in 5 years? What do you think?
So my plan in 5 years is to have an organization that can support a fully funded staff to continue this work. As of right now, my volunteer team, my executive director team is all a working board. We are all volunteers, and these people work very, very hard to see what BTGM has dreamed become a reality.
Yes.
And not just, you know, women of color. We have BIPOC male identifying allies that are also just in the trenches with us, really putting the work in. And I just think to myself, this is what we can make giving 8 to 10 hours out of our week volunteer.
Yes.
You know, imagine what we could do with 40 hours every week. Imagine what we could do if I could pay my staff exactly what they're worth and let them focus on this exclusively. Imagine how BTGM could change the world. So as a person who has no experience in the nonprofit sector or the nonprofit kind of machine, as a person with an acting degree who has no management or leadership skills whatsoever. For me, that's my 5-year plan, is to get to a place where my staff is all full-time and we have funding to do every project that we can think of to help produce readings and create more directors and more musical theater composers and more, create fellowships for women of color in every sector of the industry, talk about national legislation that holds organizations accountable for the grant money that they receive under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really start having those hard conversations about where do we stop talking and start acting? There's a lot of
the action
theaters
applied.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of theaters have made a lot of promises to our community, to the BIPOC community at large. They have made a lot of promises, and I genuinely hope that we start seeing some returns on those dividends and the grace that our community has brought to the table to say, yes, we're here.
Exactly.
A lot of people wanted to just burn the institutions to the ground and build our own table and say, we're not going to work with PWIs. And BTGM and a lot of other organizations, we said, you know what? We're here to work with you because ultimately we don't want to see theater die.
Exactly.
We want to see these arts continue to live on.
Now that's
together.
a lot of what your letter said to playbill.com.
Yes.
So you held them accountable and you said, we have high expectations of what you said that you're going to do. And we're going to be following you to make sure that you implement what it is. And I think that that's really wonderful. And on that note, now I'm going to bring everybody back in. There's Donte and Tymara. I'm going to bring that back in and let's have a conversation about where we think the theater is going and what we can do in unit, all the generations, because between now, the four of us, I'm in a different generation than you all are. Okay. So I want to know, what is it that you think that my generation can do to forge forward, help you all forge forward the projects that you all have? You have performing projects, and Donte, I've peeked on your website, so I know you talk about voodoo and interracial and stuff. Oh, yes, I know. I'm sick of
everything.
Yes. So, and Tymara, projects that you have, what can my generation do as well, Mandi Jo, to help you forge forward? What can we do?
So I'm going to start. With everything that I do with children, it would be amazing if the generation in front of me would just kind of embrace them more in actually performing. I mean, I know that I hear the words, I hear the, we're here for you, we support you guys, but as first of all, I am a member of the Black Theater Girl Magic group on Facebook because I am Black. I love theater. I do theater. I'm a girl and I'm magic. Okay.
I'm so, and I was going to say, I've seen posts about your show and I saw videos and I'm such a big fan and I'm so excited that we're here together.
This is what's wonderful. Yes.
The feeling is completely mutual. And Mandi Jo, as you do, that, in order to actually be seen, you have to be working. And I represent children. Like I just did a showcase on Sunday. Donte was there. I allow these children to take over the stages that I have, that people would not normally put them on because, we have age restrictions, or, they're just kids. I have some ridiculously talented kids in my life. Like I am a live entertainer and my band on my level is my children, like the ones I gave birth to. And it would just be so much more helpful if there was just a little bit more trust, maybe in both my ability and in the fact that young people can actually function. Because if somebody would give my band, which is my daughter on bass, my son on the drums, and my daughter's little light-skinned friend that I claim as my own on the lead guitar and me on the keys, if they would give us an opportunity and let us do like one wedding, they would see that we better than most adults for real. Like that, they're really awesome. So it's really, for me, in my lane of what I do, it's the opportunity. Somebody gave me an opportunity, but I was like 19. I'm asking for opportunities for 15. because at this, you know how they say, oh, kids used to be born and you had to wait till they lifted their head, you had to wait till they walked. Now they out here 3 months old eating chicken and stuff. It's not just that. They're born with crazy talent now. Like, you know, I was a praise and worship director while I was pregnant. And when I gave birth to Brooklyn, she pretty much just came out playing praise and worship too. Like, I don't know how it happened, but if we could just get those opportunities, that would be excellent for me.
I think the articulation of that is very important. And that's why I wanted to ask that now, you know, because I don't think that my generation and the generation above me also, I don't think that they realize that they're not doing it. I don't think it's malicious. Well, I don't
if
think.
If I may offer something here, I think we're experiencing kind of a precipice, right? We're at a generational precipice where we're seeing art being made completely in a virtual space that only exists online. And we've seen things like, people talk about TikTok and how it's like the end of a culture. And I'm looking at TikTok, seeing innovation that I would never have dreamed of. And those people are art practitioners. Those children are art practitioners.
Yes, they are.
And so it's one of those things where some people look at TikTok and they go, this is the death of our culture. And some people look at, you know, as an example, if you will.
But you have
some people look at TikTok and see the future of art, right? So I think it also, the reason that we have that disconnect is because we're not seeing each other. We're not meeting, generations aren't meeting each other at their level, right?
The way that this is, you know, you have to realize also that there are gatekeepers who have been very, very comfortable with what it is. And even in my generation, I have to fight people who are gatekeepers to get them out of the way. So because there are those of us who I enjoyed being on Zoom. You know, yes, I enjoy a live performance, but it is also a progression. So there are people who I believe will hear you when you articulate that. They haven't heard it. They haven't heard it. Now there are some people who have heard it and they don't want to hear it. You know, so we understand that. But in defense of a lot of people that I am in contact with, these are open-minded people who want to say, well, how can we help? Because we dropped the ball. We got what we wanted and we just sat down and said, okay, well, now I got what I want. What y'all gonna do? So now we realize that's a mistake. And it's now, okay, how can we then evolve and help you all get to the place where you want to get while we're still here and still very quite viable and can help you. So keep that in mind. Now, Donte, talk.
I would definitely say, for me personally, it really is the knowledge. Every single last day, I'm on that same iPad that 3 month is on, and I'm trying to find more knowledge about all of this stuff. All of this is, you know, all of this Hearts Productions, I never went to school or anything like that. And I guess I'm not so necessarily ashamed to say it because I'm happy of what I've accomplished without the book knowledge of it all. But I would definitely always say that I'm looking for the knowledge from the older generation, because y'all do know an extensive amount of things. And it is so easy for us to pick up a phone and be able to call somebody with the knowledge who's been in the middle of it, vice versus picking up a book and doing it. I don't mind. I ain't scared of no pages now, but
yes,
I do love people. And it's nothing like, you know, getting that information from the people who have been in the thick of it and they know exactly what's going on. I'm always looking for the knowledge.
Well, you know, I think that also I hear from my friends that, well, you know, I want to tell them, but I don't think they're going to listen to me. So see, there is a gap. You know, that happens. There's a gap. And there's always a reality to certain stereotypes. There's some people who won't listen, but there are a lot of people who do want to listen.
Yes.
So what we have to do is break that barrier and say, okay, now you all can call me anytime. I got stories.
I can call you. That's what
You're
separates the late from the
welcome to.
great, like you said. You know, a lot of people won't want to listen and sit down and feel like it's this tedious conversation. No, I'm all ears, because that's what separates the people. That's how you get in those doors, is
Well,
taking the time to respect those people that were there first.
Exactly. You know, when I do master classes, and I enjoy the master classes, because I tell my friends that, you know, we really have to appreciate that everybody has their day and everybody has their way of making their own history. And how we made our history is not the way you're going to make your history. All right.
Right.
And so it's not a requirement for me. I'm waiting for you to show me, you know, something new. I know what I do, and I know what everybody has done before. So give me something new and let me expose that to me. Let me try to understand it, though. You know, don't go too fast, because we do have a lot of the technical stuff that can hamper us a little bit. But I think that this is the beginning of us really realizing that there is a future for all of us to move forward together. That's the most important thing. That it shouldn't be a gap. That, you know, we help you and you help us. We help you, giving you our experience. You help us, teaching us how to keep up with you.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, and I think that that's a wonderful way to look at life at this point in time, you know. Now I have to ask, where do you think Rocking Chair can go? You're in Las Vegas now. Where do you want Rocking Chair to go? Donte, both you and Tymara.
I definitely know and wanted. Hello, somebody. I like Maddie's answer. I like that.
There you go.
Can we put that in words? What she just said. So
There you go.
All the way.
I want that musical to go all the way to the top. I want it to be just as successful as any other reputable producer and writer on Broadway.
Yes.
Broadway is my big world. I understand that a lot of people are like, oh, you know, that's not the top. You got this, you got that. The top for me is sitting on Broadway, having a theater gutted out for the rocking chair, having a rocking chair sitting in the front. When you walk in there, probably be an old lady sitting in there too. I want that musical to make it so far, and for so many reasons, but because you guys, those people that you guys saw surrounding that table, that is not just some group of random people that we met. Me and Tymara know all of those people. They are the people that we have hand selected to be a part of this, that not only have ridiculous talent, but they have the passion, they have the goal, they're goal oriented, they all want to be this, they all want to do this. I know that this is going to make it due to just the people that's in it. I see that the universe wants them to win. So whatever they're doing in their life, because the universe wants them to win, I am going to win by default. And everybody in that room is going to make it. And I promise you, y'all keep looking out for this musical, because like I said, I started it 12 years ago, and every single last day since then, I've talked about this musical. I promise you.
Where are you now in your path? Where are you? Are you doing readings? Are you doing, is it a showcase? Where are you now in it?
So I'm sorry. Okay, so right now, the focus is kind of on the music. They did just do a recent read through, but right now I'm focusing on like the large numbers, and then right after that, it's going to go to more of a small group of the leads, because Donte wrote some amazing lyrics. I am very particular about arrangements and blends and sounds and believability and convincing an audience that we actually believe what we're saying. So I'm talking about like we have a facility that we go to have big rehearsals, but when it's time for me to work with the leads, they coming right to my house, because I need it to be personal. I need you to get to know my dog, so that then you're not offended when we get into the theater. And I'm like, what did you say? So we have a closer relationship, because it's going to be personal. And this is my music. Like, this is the sound that I heard. Donte actually, we sat here and he gave me words, and then I opened up GarageBand and literally just started recording it, you know, the vocal arrangements right there on my phone. So it's personal. And so we're gonna get to that very shortly. But right now it's about the big numbers. And my other thing is, and I have to say this now, I'm so glad Mandi Jo is here, because I'm sure she can relate. I had to tell that group, like, we are a musical and we are shooting for Broadway, but what we're not is another, we not that. This ain't that. We need a tone that conveys the story of the rocking chair
Mhm.
and the reality. You know, this is Juneteenth coming up here.
Yes.
The reality is, I don't care how anybody wants to look at it. I don't care how people want to get offended by this, but Black people have a different story than
Yes.
everyone else.
Mhm.
Correct.
And there is a tone, there is a sound, there's a melody, a heaviness in the singing that
Yes.
conveys that. That's different than ragtime, or, you know,
Yes.
once on this island, once on this
Color
island.
Purple.
Was
Oh,
ev-
Color
everything.
Purple.
Yes.
You know,
it
Girls.
has its own- yes.
Mean Girls. It has to sound. I need it to be authentic,
Mhm.
because, you know, I'm not just black and bold for no reason.
I know that's right.
I understand. I
Yes.
totally understand. Well, now I'm going to say, Mandi Jo, it looks like you have your work cut out for you in your 5-year plan. You all have your work cut out for you all where you want to go. And I am just going to be looking out for you. I really wish you would reach out, you know, anything that we can do here at Visual Arts, I Love You 2021. We will do as much as we can to push what we can out there to get you to the right places that you all need to be, because I
Yeah.
think you're all deserving of. I'm very proud of you. You must
Thank
know I'm very
Thank
proud.
you.
You know,
Thank you.
I mean, really, really, congratulations. And I mean, really, really, I know how difficult it is. My calling is one where it became more than just me. It's just more than just the performing and
Correct.
just the singing and just
Correct.
the acting. It is bigger than me.
It's so
And,
much bigger than
you know,
us.
and so when you get there, not everybody has that, but when you get there and you feel it, you feel a camaraderie with people who have it.
Exactly.
So I really do want to stay in contact with you to find out how
Absolutely.
you're doing and what's going on. And, you know, if we can, you know, go through those steps together. But
Absolutely.
as I've already said, you see, now look, it's the hour is over. I told you it was going to go. Didn't I say it was going to
You
go?
You
did.
did say
Really
that.
didn't get a chance to go into
And I was having a
Juneteenth,
good time
but,
talking to
you know,
y'all.
we will get to it. I think that all of us must acknowledge the fact that this is a period of time when people who were enslaved were in Texas. They had a delay of 2.5 years. And then that day started it. And it took till the rest of that year, 1865, for everybody to be free, because still
That's right.
Kentucky and Delaware still had enslavement. So
Mhm.
let us, you know, really acknowledge that, really know what our holiday is, and let us have our input into it. I think
That's right.
that's good. Let it be our holiday, you know.
Somebody.
With that, yes.
I just, it's so interesting to me, the parallels between what Juneteenth means and what Juneteenth stands for and what we're going through today, because, you know, how many times have you heard justice deferred is justice denied, right? How many times have we been told we've made so much progress already? Why are you pushing for more right
More.
now?
Yes.
Why don't you just wait until people aren't ready for over and over and over again?
No, I can't be.
Black
No, don't
community
get me
told to wait.
started, please.
Wait
No,
for your-
wait.
wait
There's
for your
no
freedom.
waiting. There's no waiting. you know.
Wait for your equity, wait for your justice,
No.
wait for
no.
your turn to speak.
You
And
know,
so now
we
more
could-
than ever, Juneteenth is an important holiday for us to
It-
celebrate as a
It's an
community.
important anchor for us to know about.
Yes.
And the dates,
Never
and it's
forget.
important, more and more, I will suggest that all of us read the 1619 projects, so we become familiar with the dates that are our history.
That's right.
And then we can become American history. Those are all very, very important things.
Correct.
Now, you know, they're signaling me, you know, I'm talking too much. You know, they're going
Yeah.
to kick me off of here. Some of the panelists are in Texas and they congratulate you, all of you, and are very proud of all of you all. Yes, we do. Now, I am going to have to say that we're going to have to end this, but I have had a great hour
A
talking
good
to
time.
you all.
I have
Thank
to.
you so much.
You know,
Thank you.
really,
Thank you.
thank you for all your talent. I will be looking for you. I will be praying, because that is a big thing.
Yes,
Sure
it
You know,
is.
I'll be praying for you, and pray for me that I keep
Yes.
sanity, please.
Will do.
You
Of
know,
course.
and that we all are really grateful for all of the work that you all are doing on your own and in entity with everyone else. I know it's hard. I understand what it is. It's not easy, you know, but your passion and your dedication is there. So thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you. So everyone, with that said, we are going to say good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back at another time. I hope they'll have us come back and maybe we'll be able to upgrade you on how everybody's been doing. But we've had a great, great time this evening. Thank you. And